Today's video is brought to you by the Nintendo 3DS, to which this game is being played on. Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. I'm Protomario, and today we're reviewing Wario Land 4 for the Game Boy Advance and also digitally distributed to the Nintendo 3DS. What you're seeing is the 3DS, and currently this is a great game to be downloading and playing if you have the Ambassador certificate, that is. I don't think it's for sale yet. At any rate, it's a Game Boy Advance title, and it's available for the Game Boy Advance, and of course, all those pirates out there can get a ROM of it absolutely free on the internet. Nevertheless, that's not the point. Wario Land 4 is about Wario finding an Aztec temple to which he accidentally stumbles upon a newspaper clipping that shows him this Aztec temple. So, of course, being greedy, he goes in search of it in his awesome car and finds it. Jumping down a hall, following a cat, he enters into a whole nother world. This Aztec temple features about roughly 20 levels, give or take. Each level consisting of a certain theme and a certain world, per se. The temple itself has 4 guardians, and of course the beginner guardian and end guardian, making a total of 6 boss battles. These guardians range from relatively simple to increasingly difficult. Depending on how difficult the guardian is, depends on whether or not you'll have a lot of trouble with it. Of course, if you're having way too much trouble with a guardian, you can go and play a couple minigames, spending your hard-earned coins in exchange for tokens to exchange then for a weapon or device to even the odds against this guardian. Said guardian will scale up in difficulty depending on how much damage it takes. Beginning with a slow pace, each guardian may be very simplistic in how they're attacking you, and increasingly vary on the difficulty. The final guardian is immune to all the special items that you can purchase to hurt them and aid in your quest for the ultimate treasure, and it's just you and your wits between the final guardian and Wario. Depending upon how well you game on platforming games will depend whether or not you enjoy this game. Wario Land 4 doesn't stray too far from the formula. Wario can get touched, hit, poked, prodded, frozen, and lit on fire. Depending on each one of these reactions depends on what happens to Wario. Being stung by a bee will make him have a serious allergic reaction and blow up like a balloon. When he blows up like a balloon, he naturally floats to the sky. Of course, on the contrary, being set on fire will make him run into a frenzy and try and put himself out. This will allow him to break through fire bricks. And of course, being frozen will send him flying back, sliding into nothing until he shatters and shakes it off. There are other certain things that he will transform into, like a zombie and things of that nature that really don't do anything, just hinder him. But overall, some of these abilities and transformations really make the game fun and interesting, to say the least. This game does feature many puzzles in each single level. Some of the levels are very straightforward. Just get to the end, come back. The whole goal in this game is not so much to touch a flag, similarly to the Mario Brothers, or just get to the end of the level, but rather get to the end while grabbing all the pyramid pieces to unlock the boss gate. There are 4 pyramid pieces per level and 4 pyramid pieces per 4 levels. In combination, 16 pieces altogether that will open up the door. You need to get 4 pieces on each level to actually gain access to the boss's corridor. If you miss a single piece, you're going to have to go back through it and get it again. Now, once you get to the end of the level, you'll be granted access to a ghostly looking key that will follow you if you touch it. And jumping on the frog statue will break it open and set off the time bomb. If you don't escape by the time of the time bomb, you die. Kaboom, you lose it all. You of course don't want to lose it all, so you're going to try and escape as quick as you can. If you can make it back on time, you'll be able to recover the diamond pieces or the jewel that unlocks the boss gate, and another piece will be set in the stone. Once you gain the 4 pieces from the 4 levels, you'll be able to go through and fight the boss, if you so desire. You do not have to do any of these levels in any order, except each respective level from start to finish. You can't skip each level, but you can, if you unlock a boss level and don't feel like fighting the boss, go to a different level and start on that series of levels. There are 4 levels to each boss, and of course, 1 final level and 1 tutorial level. Once you complete all the levels with a perfect score, you can also go through and find a couple collectibles, like CDs. These CDs are extremely rare and harder to find than any other items in the game. Some of them are relatively easy, though, as I found, and don't require too much work, while other ones are practically impossible for someone who has no idea where they might be. Overall, I found my experience with this game to be very well and good. I really enjoy it. It's definitely not something outside the paradigm, and it doesn't break ground. It's not earth-shattering, and it didn't really cause the market to shift or anything when it was released, but it was an overall good game. It didn't stray from the formula, did what it does best, perfected it. In fact, this game even has the mini-games that you don't really have to mess around with that much to play. The game's controls are very simple. Again, doesn't require too much studying, and the tutorial level takes less than 2 minutes to pick up and figure out how to do things in the game. There's not going to be any point where if you drop it and you pick it up a couple weeks later, you're not going to be able to figure out what to do. You know, just head back to the tutorial level, 2 minutes, you're back in it. It's a very simplistic game. The boss fights are what's going to tick you off and really make you want to break the game, honestly. Without the aid of items, some of the boss fights can be downright brutally difficult and time-consuming. Each boss fight is timed. If you don't defeat the boss in time, you lose the treasure chests. To beat the final boss, you have to beat it in a certain amount of time to get all the treasure chests. Each boss will give you a special set of treasure chests, and depending on how quickly you defeat the final boss depends on your final score. Of course, all through the game, Wario is collecting cash, and that's your entire goal, to collect as much cash as you can. But again, it is about the experience. Would you like to challenge yourself by fighting the bosses, making your way through the temple as quick as possible, or would you like to collect every little solid dime? That is between you as a gamer and what you like to get out of games. Overall, I give Wario Land 4 a definite 4. Well, how about we just stick to letters? I give it an A. Wario Land 4 is a great game and a must pick up.